Taurus, that look, that presence, that strange feeling of being watched in a way you've never been before. And before you say, "It's just my head," before you try to minimize what's happening, stop, breathe, and accept the truth your body already knows. It's not your imagination. Someone is looking at you. And it's not just any look. It's a look that's silently changing everything without you even realizing the depth of what it means yet. You know that feeling when you walk into a room and feel someone's eyes on you, or when you're doing something completely normal and suddenly realize someone is paying attention to you in a different way. It's not casual admiration. It's not fleeting curiosity. It's something denser, heavier, more real. It's as if this person is studying you, deciphering you, seeing you in a way no one has ever seen you before. And that scares you a little, doesn't it? Because Taurus, you're used to controlling what people see. You only show what you want to show. But this person, they're seeing beyond that. And the craziest part? You've been looking back too. Maybe you won't admit it yet. Maybe you're pretending not to notice, but your body doesn't lie. Your heart races when that person is around. Your skin tingles when you feel their presence. You find yourself thinking about them at the most random moments of the day. And when your eyes meet, there's an electricity in the air that's impossible to ignore. Something is happening, something big, something you can't control. And for you, Taurus, who loves having everything under control, this is terrifying and exciting at the same time. Have you ever wondered why this specific person destabilizes you so much? You're going to discover who this person is, what this look means, and most importantly, what's about to happen between you two. Because this isn't casual, Taurus. This isn't a coincidence. This look is the beginning of something that will completely transform how you relate, not only to this person, but to yourself. This look carries a message, and the message is this: I see you, the real you. Not the version you show the world, but who you truly are beneath all the layers of protection. And that terrifies you because no one has ever seen you like this before, right? You've spent your whole life building a solid, reliable, stable image. You are the rock. You are the one who doesn't break, the one who endures, the one everyone can count on. But beneath that rock lies an ocean of emotions you've never let anyone see. Deep feelings you keep under lock and key. Fears you've never admitted aloud. And this person, they feel all of that. They're not looking at your mask, they're looking at you. And the more they look, the more vulnerable you feel. Now let me tell you something that will make everything fall into place. This person didn't appear in your life by chance. They're there because you're ready to be seen, ready to be known, ready to let someone into the parts of yourself you've always kept locked away. You didn't believe you were ready. You'd probably even say you didn't want this. But the truth is, your soul asked for it. Asked for someone strong enough to handle the intensity of what you keep inside. Someone who wouldn't run from your depths. Someone who would look at you and say without words, I'm not afraid of who you are. And you know what's most unsettling about all this? You recognize this person. Not necessarily because you knew each other before, but because there's something about them that your soul recognizes. It's as if you've already met in another life, in another time, in another dimension. There's a strange familiarity, a connection that doesn't make logical sense but is impossible to deny. And the more you try to rationalize it, the stronger this feeling becomes that you two were meant to cross paths at exactly this moment. Do you believe that some people enter our lives because they have something to teach us about ourselves? That look you're feeling has layers. On the surface, it's attraction. Obviously it is. There's chemistry, there's desire, there's that sexual tension you feel in the air when you're in the same room, but it goes far beyond that. Beneath the attraction, there's recognition. Recognition of two souls who came here to meet. Recognition of something greater than the two of you. And even deeper, there's fear. Fear of what might happen if you truly allow yourselves to. Fear of the intensity. Fear of losing control. Fear of surrendering and not surviving if things go wrong. Taurus, you are practical. You like concrete, tangible things that make sense. But this doesn't fit into any logical box. This is chaotic, this is unpredictable, this is wild, and everything in you wants to resist because you don't trust what you can't control. But here's the secret. This person cannot be controlled. This feeling cannot be tamed. And the more you try to force it into your mental structures, the more frustrated you will become. Because what is happening between you operates on a different frequency, a frequency that demands surrender, not control. And now comes the part that will make you question everything. This person knows. They know you feel it. They know you notice their gaze. They know something is happening, but they're waiting for you to make the first move, waiting for you to lower your guard, waiting for you to admit that yes, you're feeling it too, and no, you can't pretend you're not anymore, because this person won't chase after you. They don't need to. They know their worth, and in some strange way, they know yours too. They're giving you space, but space isn't infinite, and with each day you postpone it, the tension increases. With each unanswered glance, the distance becomes harder to bridge. How long will you pretend you're not feeling what you're feeling? Let me reveal to you who this person really is. It could be someone from work who's always been there, but suddenly started existing in a different way in your eyes. It could be that friend you always saw only as a friend until one day something changed and you can no longer see them the same way. It could be someone completely new who entered your life like a hurricane and turned everything upside down. It could even be someone you mentally dismissed before, but who reappeared with a completely different energy, as if the universe was saying, "Look again, you missed something important the first time." But there's one characteristic all these people share. She challenges you, not aggressively, but she doesn't accept your excuses. She doesn't buy your justifications. She doesn't let you hide behind your defenses. When you try to make yourself smaller, she pulls you back up. When you try to rationalize your feelings, she makes you feel them even more. She's not afraid of your intensity. In fact, she seems to crave it, as if she's been waiting her whole life for someone as deep as she is. And Taurus, you are deep. You just forgot that because you spent so much time pretending you weren't. And here's the truth that will make your heart ache. You're afraid of not being enough. Afraid that she'll truly look at you and discover you're not as special as she thought. Afraid of opening up completely and being rejected. Afraid of investing emotionally and losing. Because Taurus, when you love with everything you've got. You don't do anything halfway. And that's exactly why it takes you so long to allow yourself to commit. Because you know that once you're in, there's no going back. Once you give your heart, it stays given. And the idea of giving your heart to someone and that person not taking care of it as they should, that's your greatest vulnerability. But what if I told you that this person knows this? What if I told you that they see your fear and aren't scared by it? That they understand because they're afraid too? That they're also protecting themselves, also measuring risks, also terrified by the intensity of what they're feeling? You're both trapped in this dance, looking at each other, feeling, desiring, but neither of you has the courage to cross the space that separates you. And meanwhile, time passes, and opportunities are lost, and life happens, and you both continue pretending you're not dying to get closer. How long do you think you can sustain this distance before it becomes permanent? Now pay attention, because this is crucial. This energy has an expiration date. This look you're feeling won't last forever. Not because the person will necessarily leave, but because there's a right time for you two to truly meet. A moment where the stars align, where you're both open, where life creates the perfect scenario. And if you miss that moment, there may be others. But it won't be the same. It never is, because the universe doesn't repeat exactly the same opportunities. It offers new chances, yes, but each chance has its own energy, its own flavor, its own consequences. And what you need to understand is that this moment is happening now, not tomorrow, not next month, now. Every time you look at each other and don't speak, every time you get close and don't touch, every time you feel but don't express it, you're letting it pass. You're letting fear steal what could be something extraordinary. And yes, it might go wrong. You might try and it might not work. Reality might not match expectations. But what if it works? What if it's everything you both feel it is? What if it's even better? Are you willing to never know for fear of finding out? That look you're feeling is an invitation for you to step out of your comfort zone, to trust in something that doesn't make logical sense but makes perfect emotional sense, to take a risk, to be brave, to admit that yes, you want this, you need this, you deserve this. Because Taurus, you've spent so much time being strong for others that you've forgotten to be vulnerable for yourself. You've spent so much time building external security that you've neglected the emotional security of being seen and loved for who you truly are. And that person who's looking at you differently, they want to give you that. They want to be the safe space where you can let your guard down, where you can be messy, where you can be imperfect, where you can simply be human without having to carry the weight of always being the strong one, always the one who solves problems, always the one who endures. They want to know the parts of you that you hide. They don't just want the edited version, they want everything. And that's rare, that's precious, that's what everyone seeks but few find. Are you going to let fear make you lose that? Now let me tell you what will happen if you keep resisting. You will regret it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but there will come a day when you will look back and think, what if? What if I had been brave? What if I had spoken up? What if I had given it a chance? These what ifs will haunt you. They will wake you up in the middle of the night. They will appear at the most random moments of your life, and you will realize that the regret of not trying hurts much more than the fear of trying and failing. But let me also tell you what will happen if you allow yourself to, if you cross that distance, if you look back at that person with the same intensity they look at you, if you say without words, yes, I'm feeling this too, and no, I'm not going to pretend I'm not anymore. It will be like breathing after being underwater for too long. It will be liberation. It will be expansion. It will be finally allowing a part of you that was dormant to awaken, because this look isn't just about attraction. It's about recognition. It's about finding someone who speaks the same emotional language as you, someone who understands your silences, someone who sees beauty in your imperfections, someone who doesn't want to fix you because they don't see you as broken. When was the last time you felt completely accepted exactly as you are? And there's another important detail you need to know. Other people are noticing. This energy between you two isn't invisible. People feel it. They talk amongst themselves. They notice the glances. They notice how you both change when you're in the same room, how the whole room seems to reconfigure when you enter, the palpable tension in the air. And some are rooting for you. Others are envious. Still, others are waiting to see what will happen, as if it were a movie. But regardless of other people's reactions, the truth is one. This is happening, with or without an audience, with or without approval. This is real. But here's what nobody tells you. That look also transforms you on its own. Even if nothing happens between you, even if you never talk about it, even if it just stays in this unresolved tension, you've already changed. Because being truly seen changes people. It makes you question things. It makes you see yourself differently. It makes you realize there's a version of you that you never allowed to fully exist. A more vibrant version, more authentic, more courageous. And once you see that version, you can't help but see it. It stays there, calling to you, provoking you, asking you, when will you have the courage to let me out? Taurus, you're at a crossroads, and you know it. On one side is security, predictability, the comfort of the known. On the other side is risk, uncertainty, the possibility of something extraordinary or a painful disappointment. And everything in you wants to choose security because that's what you've always chosen. It's your nature. You don't like gambles. You like guarantees. But the problem is that feelings don't come with guarantees. Love doesn't come with an instruction manual. True connection doesn't offer insurance against damage. You enter without knowing the ending, and you have to be willing to lose to have a chance to win. And here's the question that will define everything. Do you prefer the pain of risk or the pain of regret? Because both hurt, Taurus. There is no option without pain. The difference is that the pain of risk is acute but temporary. You try, it might go wrong, you get hurt, but you heal, you grow, you learn. The pain of regret is chronic. It stays, it comes back, it haunts you years later, reminding you of what could have been if you had been braver. So which pain do you choose? Now let me give you something practical. The next time you see that person, the next time you feel that gaze, don't look away. Hold it. Look back. Let them see that you're seeing them too. Let your vulnerability show. You don't need to say anything. Sometimes what isn't said screams louder than any words. A gaze held for 3 more seconds already says it all. It changes the game. It opens the door. And maybe that's all it takes for something to finally happen. And if the idea of this terrifies you, breathe. It's normal. You're breaking free from a pattern that has kept you safe your whole life. But it has also kept you alone in certain ways. Safe, yes, but also isolated. Protected, yes, but also disconnected. And there comes a point where too much security becomes a prison, where you are so protected from pain that you also protect yourself from joy, from passion, from life truly pulsing through your veins. This person who is looking at you differently sees things in you that you don't even see yourself. They see potential you've hidden, strength you minimize, beauty you ignore. And in their presence, you can no longer pretend these things don't exist. They mirror you in a way that forces you to truly see yourself. And sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes you want to look away from the mirror because you don't like what you see. But other times, you look and think, wow, I didn't know I was like this. And these moments of recognition are what change everything. This look is preparing you for something bigger, not just a relationship with this person, but a new relationship with yourself. One where you're no longer afraid to be seen, where you don't hide, where you allow yourself to exist in all your intensity without apologizing. Because Taurus, you've spent too much time apologizing for taking up space, for feeling too much, for wanting too much, for being too much. And this person is showing you that you're not too much. You are exactly enough. And to the right heart, you are everything. And there's one last truth that needs to be said, that gaze is a choice. The person is choosing to see you. They are choosing to pay attention. They are choosing to invest emotional energy in you. And that's no small thing. In a world where everyone is distracted, where everyone is looking at their cell phone, where nobody really sees anybody, someone is seeing you. Someone stopped. Someone noticed. Someone decided that you are worthwhile. And that deserves to be recognized. That deserves to be honored, not with ego, but with gratitude, with humility, with the awareness that being seen is a rare gift. So Taurus, the next time you feel that gaze on you, don't run away, don't rationalize, don't minimize, just acknowledge it. Yes, this is happening. Yes, it's real. Yes, it has meaning. And yes, you deserve it. You always deserved it. You just needed someone to remind you of that. Someone who would look beyond your mask and say, without words, I see you, the real you, and I'm not going away. Your life is changing. Right now, with every glance exchanged, with every quickened heartbeat, with every thought about this person that pops up out of nowhere, you are being transformed. And when you finally have the courage to cross the distance, to speak, to touch, to admit, everything will make sense. All the fears, all the doubts, all the resistance will dissolve, and you will understand that you were afraid of the wrong thing all along. You weren't afraid of getting hurt. You were afraid of healing, afraid of finally having what you always wanted, afraid of discovering that you are capable of loving and being loved in a way you never imagined possible. And now that you know this, what will you do with this truth?